that one of the main barriers, according to the transition, it's change the pedagogical thinking. It was absolutely one of my main message of the presentation, and I would like to join this line, which started already yesterday. What does it mean, openness? Whom open the education? How can I open this education for that? I said the question very simplified that what does it mean, content? My opinion that it's no vertical decision structure. It seems a shared system, which means that it's not a classical decision, which is top-down or bottom-up, could describe very quickly. It's a very shared system. These stakeholders are very important, all of them.
So we selected 5 universities, 2 very big ones like mine and Technical University of Sofia, my University of Medicine in Sofia, 3 biggies and all these ones, and 2 smaller ones in the country, much smaller and much more flexible. We have identified the following factors as factors provoking appearance or overcoming the resistance. Among them are the lack or availability of institutional policy of strategy. So the universities with the centralized model of introducing ICT and e-learning used to have developed institutional policy in e-learning. It's part of the mission of university. They have strategy, they have action plan, etc. The second one is the availability or a lack of legal basis, institutional regulations for the technology integration in teaching and learning. Also availability of support unit. So in the centralized model you can find distance education center or e-learning center, which has a very well described functions in supporting the staff. So one of the factors that really impacts on the use of technology in education, in teaching and learning, is the previous experience in using technology for all the staff, and we have to say that most of the professors do not have such experience. And these are the reasons that we have identified. So insufficient level of proficiency in computer skills, lack of knowledge in pedagogical design of e-learning, openness, lack of openness to change their style, especially, I think what my colleague pointed out, is the changing pedagogy of teaching. This happens to be one of the most difficult ones, of being an expert lecturer into turning into designer of online tasks, learning tasks and resources.
We have to know why we want to do learning analytics. Is it to improve learning outcomes for our students? Is it to earn more money? Is it to be more visible? Is it to do for as all the universities around the world, and so on? We have to decide how. Is it statistics, visualization, web mining, social network analysis, and so on? And we have to know who are the stakeholders, and they can be numerous. So I would like to give you 3 main advice that have been reported last year at Educause in the session dedicated to learning analytics by a president of an American university who has launched a very important learning analytics initiative. He told us, you need to have a high level of information about your data and a strong monitoring of the data flow. The data at the core of the problem, because without data you can't do learning analytics. The second advice is form the right project team by mixing actors, technicians, and experts. You have to have multi-profile, multi-competencies, interdisciplinary team if you want to achieve the results of a learning analytics project. And the third one is often try to compare a priori hypothesis with reality. Sometimes it's not so evident that they match. And as a conclusion, I will just say what was the conclusion of ECAR last year. The combination of embedded administrative and academic technologies, big data, powerful analytical tools, and sophisticated data mining techniques are poised to spark a revolution in how education is delivered and how the efficacy of that education is measured.
Even if we have the right data and if we do the right analysis, success is not guaranteed. Not guaranteed because maybe people are not looking, maybe they are not focused for many reasons. But there is another problem, that is around of 80% of projects of developing analytical systems fail. So that's a lot, according to the literature. So we are investing universities a lot of money in developing analytical systems. So it's important to make things to reduce that number. In order to do that, we can learn from what people of for-profit organizations did. They work on analytics for longer than us, and they work with this project some years ago. So we plan to take advantage of their lessons learned just to improve the way we develop projects and to increase the success rate. The academic analytics is basically the application of business intelligence to universities. And it focuses at analytics at institutional, regional, and international levels. So it goes to the top level of universities.
We have been involved also in doing research about dropout, and this is what I am going to explain as the scenario that we will try to develop later in the activity. What are the data sources that we are considering at UOC? Well, of course, all the students' socio-demographical data and academic background, the pre-enrollment and enrollment data. We have the connection patterns to the virtual campus, the interaction with the virtual campus and peers, the use of resources and communication spaces, all the continuous evaluation activities that we provide our students and their academic performance. And also external sources like, for example, surveys. What we are doing is fighting or trying to fight dropout. What we saw is that at UOC that you can take a break with no requirements, so you can take a break 1, 2, 3 semesters. What we saw is that 90% of the students that take a break never come back, so they can be considered a dropout. So what we want to do is have like an early detection system for these students at risk.
Learning analytics combined with artificial intelligence techniques offer rich prospects in terms of design of smart assistants to support students in their learning paths with special focus on the concept of personalization and adaptivity.
So there are 4 main questions that require clear answers before you make any investment in learning analytics. The first is the most important. What is your specific objective? So choosing 1 or even just 2 to begin with provides a good focus for an analytics project. Being specific helps to target both the work and also the investment that you'll make. Another critical question is when you decide to intervene. The last 2 questions can actually save you a lot of time and a lot of investment. You may well be surprised to learn that for your specific objective, you will already collect all of the data that you need. Don't assume that you need to start from scratch. You may already have all of the building blocks that you need.